The crypto market is seeing extreme levels of volatility. We're seeing Bitcoin's price drop all the way down to $39,600 per coin before rallying back within minutes to over $42,000 per coin. There's a lot of fear in the market right now. In today's video, I just want to talk about a couple of very important things going on for anyone invested in crypto, a couple of key dates coming up, and things you need to be aware of. So if you enjoy this sort of content, please be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and let's jump right in. So later in the video, I'm going to go over a key report that just came out from institutional investors, which is a complete shift from what we have been seeing over the last couple of days. But let's first talk about what's going on with the market. When we look at the market right now, we're seeing that the overall crypto market sitting at a $1.91 trillion market cap. We're seeing Bitcoin's price act very volatile as the week is starting, and we're seeing the volume continue to pick up. Today, we've seen volume for Bitcoin increase dramatically, and this is because we're seeing a lot of drastic price movements. So like we've pointed out in the last couple of videos, we need to keep an eye out on this $40,500 support. Earlier today, we did drop below it, but the key thing here is that we've seen Bitcoin's price bounce off of this $40,500 support a couple of times throughout 2021 and now already into 2022. So this has acted as a very key support, and even though earlier in the day we did see Bitcoin's price drop below this, it's still acting as a support, and we still need to keep an eye out on this level over the next couple of days because it's going to indicate whether or not Bitcoin's price is going to be able to stay above this $40,000 per coin, or if we're going to see it drop to more that $35,000 per coin range. The good news is that we saw a lot of buying pressure as soon as we dropped below today, so that is very good news. Interesting thing with supply, though, is that while we are continuing to see these major fluctuations in the overall market, we're seeing Bitcoin's illiquid supply still continue to increase. The other day, we talked about how it was around 74%. Now it's at 76% of the total Bitcoin supply is illiquid. This means that people who are buying Bitcoin are taking it off of exchanges. They're betting on it long term. And this is good because right now, where we are with the market, it shows us that all the weak hands have really been shaken out. Anyone who's really left in crypto is planning on holding it long term, and they're moving it into cold storage or hardware wallets. And this is very, very exciting. Next thing I want to talk about before we get into this institutional investor report is billionaire investor Bill Miller. He just put 50% of his net worth into Bitcoin, and this is something that I think we're going to start to see more and more as MicroStrategy continues to buy Bitcoin, as institutions continue to get involved. So this, seeing a billionaire investor put 50% of his net worth into Bitcoin, is something that we have never seen, and I think this is a very bullish sign for the market, seeing that we're having more institutions, more billionaire investors, and more just big money players all together get involved in crypto and not just put 5% of their portfolios in, they're putting 50% of their entire net worth into Bitcoin. So this is very, very bullish. So whether you think Bitcoin's price is going to drop to 35 or 30,000, or if you think it's going to rally right back, the key thing here is that big money players are doubling down and adding more to their positions. Next thing I want to talk about is going to be what is going on with this brand new institutional investor report. So a brand new institutional investor report just came out today on January 10th, 2022, that it shows us what institutions did over the last week with crypto. And we've been speaking a lot about recently how the Federal Reserve had their December 2021 minutes released. And this is what caused the market to have that crash. Since then, we've seen a lot of volatility. And last week, this was reflected in the institutional inflows and outflows. Last week was one of the worst weeks we have seen in a while in the crypto market in terms of price, but also in terms of institutional investors. What we saw is that there was $206 million of outflows from crypto investment products. This doesn't mean directly from Bitcoin or directly from Ethereum. These are investment products, let's say on the stock market, that have exposure to Bitcoin or crypto or any sort of altcoin. So we saw $206 million of outflows. Ethereum saw about $39 million of outflows. Bitcoin, $107 million of outflows. Binance Coin had about $18 million of outflows. So overall, this is in line with what we're seeing with prices, that institutional investment products saw outflows for last week. This is nothing to be too concerned about because it is to be expected when we see the market take that big of a hit to see that these institutional investment products have a bit of outflows. This doesn't change the fact, though, like we spoke about earlier, that the illiquid supply is continuing to increase. So even though we saw net outflows last week, which is obvious because whole market cap came down, the good news is that, like we said, the illiquid supply, the people who own Bitcoin, are doubling down and putting this into cold storage and into hardware wallets. So overall, even though we're seeing a bit of outflows in the market, the key thing you need to be keeping an eye out for, like we spoke about in yesterday's video, is January 12th, Federal Reserve. There's going to be a new CPI report that comes out. We'll keep an eye out for that report, January 12th at 8:30 a.m. Eastern time. But other than that, right now, we're just continuing to see if the market is going to hold above that $40,500 per coin level, or if we are going to see it drop below. Right now, me personally, I've not added any more money to any positions. I've not sold anything. I'm simply just holding my positions until we see a breakout above either 43,000, where I'll add more, or if we see it drop below 40,000, then I'll be waiting to a couple more buy targets, which I'll talk about in our private member community. But that's what's going on with the overall market. Hope you enjoyed today's video, and I'll see you guys in the next episode. See ya.